Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some absolutely crucial, high-stakes information from our source material that you really need to know. And right off the bat, let's get our terminology spot on, okay? We are looking closely at the WSCE English exam, which is officially pronounced WASSCE. WASSCE. It's a standard pronunciation you really should be familiar with. Today, we're focusing on part 1 of an essential breakdown, the 7 common errors in WASSCE English. So whether you're a candidate gearing up for this massive paper, or honestly just someone looking to tighten up their formal writing, we are going to dive right in.
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually costs you marks in your WASSCE English paper? You know, it's the question that literally keeps candidates awake at night. You might think it's, I don't know, a lack of grand, complex vocabulary, or maybe failing to write these elaborate, university-level essays that brings your grade down. But the reality, it's almost always the fundamental traps. The high stakes of this exam mean that losing easy marks on basic grammar is something you simply cannot afford. Think about it. Examiners are reading thousands upon thousands of papers. Because of that insane volume, they have very specific criteria they're looking for and incredibly specific errors they will instantly penalize.
And according to the source material we're examining today, there are exactly 7 of them. Yep, just 7 common grammatical pitfalls standing between you and that top-tier grade you're aiming for. It's actually kind of fascinating how consistently candidates fall into these exact same 7 traps year after year, paper after paper. So today, we're going to break these down systematically so you can recognize them, flag them, and make sure you never make them again.
All right, let's look at Section 1, Punctuation and Spelling Traps, or as I like to call them, the silent mark killers.
So, these represent the most fundamental mechanics of the English language. And shockingly, despite years and years of schooling, this is exactly where candidates slip up first when they're placed under that intense exam room pressure. Error number 1 is, quite simply, poor punctuation and spelling. Listen, you could write an essay with the most brilliant, compelling ideas in the world, but if your spelling's all over the place or if you're missing vital commas and full stops, the examiner's immediate impression of your competence is compromised. It completely disrupts the reading flow. I mean, a single missing comma can completely alter the meaning of your sentence. Poor punctuation and spelling will silently drain your total marks before the examiner even has a chance to properly assess the quality of your actual arguments. It's entirely preventable, but highly penalized.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. Mastering verbs in agreement, which is all about core grammatical balance.
If spelling and punctuation are the bricks and mortar, your verbs are the load-bearing structural gems of your writing. This category is the absolute heavy hitter of the WASSCE English exam. Within it, we find errors 2, 3, and 4. Let's list them out. Singular versus plural errors, subject-verb agreement issues, and failing at conjugating verbs correctly. I really cannot stress this enough. You absolutely must self-audit your writing for these exact categories. Don't waste time inventing complex grammatical rules to worry about. Just stick to mastering these 3. When you're writing furiously under strict time limits, it is incredibly easy for a plural subject to suddenly, accidentally, get a singular verb further down the sentence, or for your verb conjugations to slip awkwardly from past tense to present tense in the exact same paragraph. You've got to actively monitor your work against these 3 specific bullet points.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core tension driving those mistakes, singular versus plural. That fundamental tension between singular and plural concepts underpins almost all of those crucial verb agreement errors we just discussed. Think about it. If your brain is thinking of a collective group of people, but you've actually written down a singular collective noun, your subsequent verb is likely going to mismatch if you aren't paying close attention. Mastering the balance between one and many, and ensuring every single verb you write reflects that choice, well, that's a non-negotiable skill for acing this paper.
Moving right along to Section 3, Phrases, Clauses, and Structure. This is all about building your sentences.
Once you have your spelling accurate and your verbs agreeing, you have to connect your ideas logically, which brings us directly to error number 5, struggling with the appropriate use of phrases and clauses. As a quick refresher, right, a clause has a subject and a verb, a phrase doesn't. A super common trap in WASSCE English Inc. is stringing together these long descriptive phrases that don't actually form a complete grammatical thought, which results in sentence fragments. Or, on the flip side, candidates will often awkwardly jam independent clauses together without the correct conjunctions, creating these massive run-on sentences. Using phrases and clauses appropriately is exactly how you show the examiner that you have total control over the rhythm, pacing, and complexity of your sentences.
Okay, on to our final group. Section 4, missing articles and prepositions. These are the tiny words that matter.
So the crucial point is, because these words are physically so small on the page, they are incredibly easy to overlook when your brain is rushing ahead to finish a long comprehension answer or the final paragraph of your essay. Error number 6 is the omission of articles, and error number 7 is the incorrect use of prepositions. Think about how often we drop tiny words when we're just speaking casually to our friends. However, in formal, written WASSCE English, dropping an article or casually using in instead of on completely compromises the grammatical accuracy of your work. These two pitfalls are subtle, they honestly hide in plain sight, but they are constantly catching candidates out and chipping away at their final score.
Just to be absolutely crystal clear on error number 6, we are talking specifically about the articles a, an, and the. Leaving these out where they are grammatically required is a heavily monitored trap in this exam. Examiners will literally circle a missing the in red ink in a heartbeat. It might seem like a tiny detail, but it perfectly demonstrates your overall level of precision and fluency to the person grading your paper.
Let's wrap this all up with Section 5, Final Review to Ace It. This is your ultimate exam checklist.
We have covered some serious ground today, looking at the very mechanics of how this exam is graded. So let's condense those 7 precise errors into a highly actionable 4-step mental checklist. You should use this while reviewing every single paper you write. Ready? Step 1, check your spelling and punctuation. Step 2, check your verbs and their agreement. Step 3, check your phrases and clauses. And step 4, check those tiny articles and prepositions. If you can just leave 5 minutes at the end of your exam to purposefully run your answers through this exact 4-step filter, you are actively dodging the absolute most common traps that lower candidates